Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between tall mountains, there lived a young man named Elias. Elias was known for his curious mind and his desire to learn everything he could about the world. But there was one problem. He struggled to stay focused. His thoughts jumped from one idea to another like a restless bird, never settling long enough to finish what he started. One day, Elias decided to seek the wisdom of an old philosopher who lived at the top of the highest mountain. The villagers said this philosopher had mastered the art of focus and could teach anyone how to direct their mind like an arrow toward its target. Determined to change his ways, Elias packed a small bag and began the long climb. The path was steep, and the wind howled around him, but Elias pressed on. When he finally reached the philosopher's hut, he found the old man sitting quietly, staring at a single flame burning in a clay lamp. Without looking up, the philosopher spoke. "You have come to learn focus," he said. Elias was surprised. "How did you know?" The philosopher smiled. "Because no one climbs this mountain unless they seek something they lack. Sit with me." Elias sat beside him, and the philosopher began to teach. "Focus is not about forcing your mind to obey," he said. "It is about understanding it. Your thoughts are like a river, wild and untamed. If you try to stop the river, it will only rush harder. But if you guide it slowly, it will flow where you need it to go." The philosopher told Elias the first strategy: clarity of purpose. "Before you begin any task," he said, "ask yourself why it matters. A man who knows why he acts will not be easily distracted." Elias thought about his own life. He often started projects without knowing why, only to abandon them later. The second strategy was the power of the present. Most distractions come from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, the philosopher explained. But focus lies only in the now. When you eat, eat. When you read, read. Do not let your mind wander where your body is not. Elias realized how often he was lost in thought instead of paying attention to what was in front of him. The third strategy was the discipline of small steps. "A mountain is climbed one step at a time," the philosopher said. "If you think only of the peak, you will grow tired before you begin. But if you focus on the next step, the path becomes clear." Elias understood now why he often felt overwhelmed. He was always thinking too far ahead. The fourth strategy was the art of elimination. "You cannot focus if your life is full of noise," the philosopher warned. "Cut away what does not serve you. A tree grows strong not by adding more branches, but by shedding the weak ones." Elias thought about the many things in his life that took his attention but gave nothing in return. The fifth and final strategy was the practice of patience. "Focus is a skill," the philosopher said. "Like a muscle, it grows stronger with time. Do not be angry with yourself when you fail. Simply begin again." Elias had always expected immediate results, but now he saw that true focus required time. For weeks, Elias stayed on the mountain, practicing these strategies. At first, it was hard. His mind still wandered, and he often grew frustrated. But slowly, he noticed a change. He could read for hours without distraction. He finished tasks he had once abandoned. His thoughts became clearer, like a still pond after a storm. When the day came for Elias to return to the village, the philosopher gave him one last piece of advice. "Remember," he said, "focus is not about locking your mind in a cage. It is about freeing it from chaos. A focused life is a life of meaning." Elias descended the mountain with a new understanding. Back in the village, people noticed the change in him. He was calmer, more deliberate in his actions. When they asked him how he had done it, he simply smiled. "By learning to see clearly," he said. Years passed, and Elias became known as a wise man himself. Many came to him seeking guidance, just as he had once sought the philosopher. And to each of them he taught the same 5 strategies: clarity of purpose, the power of the present, the discipline of small steps, the art of elimination, and the practice of patience. The story of Elias spread far and wide, reminding all who heard it that focus is not a gift given to a lucky few. It is a skill, built day by day, choice by choice. And in a world full of noise, the ability to stay focused is the truest strength of all. So if you ever find yourself distracted, lost in a storm of thoughts, remember Elias. Remember the 5 strategies. And most of all, remember that every journey begins with a single focused step.